Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So today it's another important topic, and I am asking myself what is going on. The fact that a lot of not even a lot of black people are finding it so hard to wear their natural hair, probably locks, and also be accepted in places of work, organizations, and all that. And these palm colored women actually have full locks, full locks, and was trying to do black thing. Number one is that most palm colored people do not care about black people, right? But they want to do black thing, right? And why do you want to do black thing when you do not like a certain kind of people? And the fact that they know that some places crown art is still like something that is trying to like get approved and all that. I mean, like we're wearing our natural hair and looking natural and all that is not accepted in some places. But the same people that want to culture appropriate, telling you that culture is supposed to be shared and all that, will never and ever come out to speak up. You all know the power most palm-colored women have. They will never come out to speak up on Crown Act, but they are so quick, very, very quick to tell you that you all do not share your culture. You all are so stingy. You all are so you all do not open up when it comes to culture sharing. You know what? Let's get it.
Pav, you just got your first full head of dreads, but your scalp is itchy.
TikTok, this isn't bullying or harassment, for educational purposes only. I had to breathe when I saw the comment section for this stitch, which does not pass the vibe check. One, it's not just hair. And I know a lot of people will scroll past this point because they don't want to hear what I'm about to say, but you should sit and listen. Sit and be uncomfortable for a minute. I want the same amount of people in this comment section following this comment back. The same people who said it's just hair and she can do whatever she wants with her hair. Y'all better be supporting the Crown Act that blocks discrimination for natural hair on black women, such as my own hair, which are real natural micro locks. Y'all better be supporting that as much as you support Becky getting some faux locks. Because first off, her hairstyle is not dreadlocks. Those are faux locks. She had her hair braided and they wrapped it to look like a lock. Next, I don't like the term dread. Most black people that wear their hair naturals do not like the term dread. And for those that are like, oh, it's just a word, let's talk about the history, shall we? Because over here, it's facts over feelings. First off, locks have been around for over 5,000 years. They originated in Africa, not the Vikings, not people from Swedish. A lot of Vikings and people from that Scandinavia area actually got their braids from being voyagers and visiting Africa, just so you know. I'll post that in a second, but let's look at this. Slave traders regularly shaved the heads of captives, and the term dreadlocks originally derives from the slave traders. Descriptions of afro-textured hair as dreadful after it had naturally formed into locks during the Middle Passage. For those that don't know what the Middle Passage is, that's the transatlantic slave trade, where they took African human beings, forced them into slavery and bondage, handcuffed and chained them in tiny itty bitty spaces in the bottom of a ship, as many as they could, to the point where they couldn't sit up or stand or even roll over for 80 to 100 days in the bottom of a ship. A lot of people died on the Middle Passage, millions upon millions. There are no numbers that are documented on how many were just thrown overboard after they died, or a group of them that got sick because they were laying in their own filth, that they weren't getting clean water or adequate bathroom locations, and they complained and called them dreads because these people were not allowed to bathe, comb their hair, detangle it. So because it became matted, and they called it dreadful based on the environment they created, it stuck. Hair is a big part of our community. It is a huge part of our culture. In Africa, it denoted if you were part of the upper class. It could tell you what tribe you were from, what job you held. Just like Native, Indigenous Americans had power in their hair and didn't want to cut it, Africans felt the same way. And they could grow hair down past their butts. Thanks to the slave trade, all of the knowledge and wisdom of how to take care of our hair was partially erased. And it was shaved. Then it started to begin policing of it. Look up the cimnanya law in Louisiana, if you're curious, to where black women had to wear a head covering because when we did start to grow our hair back, it was too enchanting and white men would be distracted by it. So again, all of those that are like, it's just hair. She can have locks if she wants to. First off, stop calling them dreads, because that's offensive. It's derogatory. It's derogative. Please don't. They're locks. And if you're going to defend her, I need you to defend me being able to work and not be discriminated with my natural hair. So I hope your name is on some type of petition, because the Crown Act is not legal in all 50 states, including Georgia right now, does not have protection under the Crown Act. And even though Texas has it right now, they still have let a kid who graduated high school not walk across the stage. They're kicking him and expelling him out of school because he has neatly done locks that do not violate the dress code, even though we have the Crown Act. So y'all better be defending that. If you're going to defend her, stand up for us for once, okay? Let's do that. The popularity of the dreadlocks when you're talking about Bob Marley, do understand, I hope that y'all go watch the biopic about him. Those were a protest to the system. And it's hilarious to me. This isn't a hippie thing. This goes back 5,000 plus years. There is a history to this hair. There is power in our hair. It is not just hair for us. It's very disrespectful. And if you're going to wear locks, please understand the history. But more so, I need you to defend the rights of people who started. Defend the rights of the people who started this hairstyle and can't even exist with their hair how it naturally grows out of their head without discrimination. Do you see now why we might be just a little bit perturbed? Just a little bit? When y'all do it, it's cute and it's a trend. When we do it, it affects our livelihood. Y'all want to defend her? Cool. There better be the same amount of people looking up the Crown Act today and signing on a petition and reaching out to their local politicians and saying, why hasn't this passed? Why can't people wear their hair naturally and not get discriminated as work? And that includes locks, that includes braids, that includes natural hairstyles. We can't even wear our hair as it naturally curls out of our head without being discriminated against. And y'all want to defend this? Have the day you deserve.
In any conversation about the continued appropriation of Black culture by white women, specifically when speaking about protective styles like braids, cornrows, locks, bantu knots, braids with specific cultural ties like Fulani braids, there is always one or more white women that claim they always get their hair done in braids, and it's usually by someone who they claim is Black, as if that makes it not cultural appropriation anymore, which it doesn't. I always wonder if these white women, like if the thought ever crosses their mind, specifically the box braid loving white women, or the lock loving white women, or the goddess braid loving white women, or the Fulani braid loving white women. Does it cross their minds, I wonder, that cultural appropriation is such a profitable market and such a common practice and part of white culture that we just expect it from them? We're never surprised to see these white women in protective styles. It's not a shock anymore. The only shock is that you would think in 2024 they would have learned their lessons by now. But are we shocked that they continue to do it? Not really. We are no longer surprised to see these women in protective hairstyles that are not meant for their hair types, as well as hairstyles that are not part of their culture, no matter how many times they bring up the Vikings. Furthermore, do they not wonder if the people who are doing their hair without issue, without telling them, hey, this is not okay, this is cultural appropriation, this is not for you, are happy to do their hair because they just want to take their money? I know there are plenty of aunties out here getting a bag because these white women continue to try to culturally appropriate black hairstyles. And I'm not mad at it entirely, but we're not going to sit there and try to call it appreciation when it flat out is not. It's appropriation. See, white people have a deep history of taking things from other cultures, cultures that are not their own, and unapologetically making a profit off of its sale, its display, or its gentrification. We have seen practices that have been part of black culture for generations be taken without acknowledgement of whom it was taken from, and see it be renamed, remarketed, and rebranded as trendy or chic by white faces and white bodies. All while the people whose culture they have stolen these things from are demonized and stigmatized for indulging in their own culture and cultural practices that these white individuals get praised and profit for appropriating. While there are plenty of black people who refuse to aid in the appropriation of black culture by white people, there are some black people who have the mentality of, they're gonna do it anyway, so I might as well take their money and call it reparations. Black people are not a monolith, and we are completely capable of approaching the problem of cultural appropriation in different ways. But just because a certain black individual allows you to get braids, does your braids for you, whatever, tells you your hair looks good, whatever the case may be, doesn't make it not appropriation. They just know that you're gonna do it anyway. And if not them, it's gonna be somebody else. So they may as well be the one getting the money from it. Like I said, reparations. There are a lot of these black women out here that do not care if you are going around looking crazy with Fulani braids up in your head, or if it's going to be so tight and the tension's going to make your hair fall out, as long as they got that bag. Regardless if they know whether or not your hair can take those protective styles. They got paid, so you're the one out here looking stupid. Does that thought not ever cross their minds? White women that love Fulani braids, box braids? Just a thought.
Of. You just got your first full head of dreads, but your scalp is itchy.
If I've learned anything from this app, it's that you're going to be getting a lot of unsolicited advice. A lot of angry, unsolicited advice. Well, anyway, this has been Doc for Diesel Punk Industries. Best of luck. Thanks for watching, and as always, crunchy white pimp forever.
So this is all I got from this, and the fact that they actually think they are doing us a favor by doing that here, because I've seen some of them tell black people that it's cultural appropriation, that they are trying to appreciate our culture. Is it now that you want to appreciate the culture? This culture has been there like how many years, and you all never bothered to make it look cool or associate with it, not until you all know how black people do their thing, how they how they keep pushing things, and then it became really so popular, because before it was ghetto. I mean, black hair was really very ghetto. It's not something you come out with. It's not something to be proud of, according to them, right? Not until they make it really very stylish. Everybody wants to do the hair, right? But now, look at the way she actually did this. There are some things you see and you know that they are probably trying to get black people's attention, or trying to be really act crazy, because the way she acted, all that, and the way she started her hair is itchy. She actually went to grab oil. Now let's get into this. I really don't care what she's carrying on her head. That is her problem. She goes bad, alopecia and the rest of it. Best of luck to her. What I am more concerned about is that the plum-colored women are so eager, very eager to culture appropriates our hairstyles, some certain things, but they are not or never ever willing to come out and speak up when some certain things they heard that they culture appropriate all the time. In some places, Texas to be precise, the Crown Act is not yet I think it's not like properly working there. Because I remember what happened to a young boy who cornrowed his locks that was not distracting anybody or something, but they still found a way to suspend the young man and send him out of school and the rest of it. They sent him to military school for a while. And they took the case to court, and court said that the hair actually violated, like the young man lost, right? So when I look at all this and I see them all the time trying to culture up, I do not appreciate that. I don't like it when I see them, because the truth is that they will never, with all of them coming out to tell black people are very they are kind of stingy sharing things. They don't do this, they don't do that, they don't do that, right? None of them will ever come out to speak up against what is going on in a black community, especially when it is the one that try to culture appropriate. You will never see them. But when it is time to get into black businesses, do black thing and all that, you see them, and then they start saying some culture should be shared. When people have told you all that, I do not want you, or I do not want to share this with you, but every day we wake up, we still see them wanting to share and telling you that it is their right to share with you. And who made you the right person to share with this person or the other person? Really, before, I am of the opinion that I do not care about them culture, because at some point I really became very tired of seeing all of them doing it because they want to. One actually said that I braided my hair in Mexico. If you see the comment section, you definitely, I braided my hair in comment section and there was no black person inside. Now let me tell you something, they really know what they are doing. They know that most of them are not supposed to do it, but they still want to do it. The fact that a lot of black people to this very moment, they are going for job interview. You see all of them probably wrap their hair or wear wigs, some with locks, probably cornrow, wear wigs, and some. I have seen a young lady also being sacked from job because of her braids. But other people do it, and it is all nice, and it is all cute. It is all great. But we cannot be great with our own hair, with our own natural hair. I have also seen a man who told a young lad to cut his hair if he wants him to help him get a job or probably make money. And then you look at the people that are giving us condition. I really cannot imagine somebody telling me, I really look super beautiful, super gorgeous in my locks. I love my locks, it's my natural hair. So you can imagine walking into an office and somebody is telling me that if you really have to get a job, you have to cut your hair. Are you really okay? Are you people okay? So I do not appreciate culture appropriation, and when I see them, I call them out. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.